I've made every dumb investing mistake you can probably think of, and right now I'm about to walk you through all of them so you don't have to lose money like I did. Now look, I'm not trying to say I'm a genius. I've just been investing for the past 6 or 7 years, and this is what my portfolio is doing. It's not doing too bad. But I didn't get here by being, smart. I got here by actually being stupid, very stupid very first, and learning the expensive way. I've panic sold, I've chased the hype, and I've lost thousands of dollars on trading options. And rumor has it, I still lose thousands of dollars on options to this day. I've done it all. So if you're just starting on your own investing journey, or you've made some of these mistakes yourself, this video is for you. Let's get into it. Mistake number one, I was too scared to invest at all-time highs. When I first started investing, I had this fear that if I bought in when the market was at an all-time high, that it would crash the next day and I'd lose everything. So I would just wait and wait and wait and wait. Back in 2020, I wanted to buy Google, I wanted to buy Facebook, but they were at an all-time high. So I was convinced that I would just wait for it to dip. And you know what happened? They went up and up and up. And sure, they dipped a little bit around 2022, but they were still way higher than it was 2 years before. Luckily though, I did buy a little bit, but I still just waited to invest even more, like more of the money that I wanted to, because I thought that they would go lower, and I just kept waiting. And so looking back now, if I had just bought when I first had the conviction, when I first wanted to invest in the first place, I'd be up thousands of dollars. I'm so grateful that I invested how much I did, but I would be up way more. Now, here's the lesson. The market is actually positive almost 70% of the time. So if you're always waiting for a crash, always waiting for the next dip, you're gonna miss years of gains. Time in the market always beats timing the market. Always. So if you believe in a company, or even just in the stock market, like an index fund where I put 70-75% of my portfolio, just buy it consistently. Stay consistent. Stop overthinking. If it dips, buy some more. If the market dips and we have another terror scare or another pandemic, just keep on buying. The strategy never changes. This is called dollar cost averaging, and the key is just to be consistent and invest your money. Mistake number two, I panic sold way too many times. This one hurt the most because I knew better, but I kind of did it anyways. I panic sold Palantir, I panic sold Tesla, and every single time the stock recovered or even just went extremely higher. Here's what would happen. I'd buy a stock, maybe I saw it online, maybe I saw people talking about it, and it would go up a little. I'd feel great. Then there'd be some news or earnings miss, or people on social media like TikTok would start hating on it, and the stock would drop, 10 to 50%. And since I didn't have a strong foundation or reason to buying in the first place, I would just freak out and sell because I didn't want to lose more money. The classic emotional investing. And the worst part is, it's not like I necessarily chose the wrong stocks to buy. Palantir now went up like thousands of percent. Tesla is doing pretty well. If I had just actually done the research and knew what I was getting myself into, not just following the hype, then most likely wouldn't have sold when things took a dip. But because I didn't know what I was actually investing in, I was just following the hype, and I was really just following my own emotions, I locked in losses and missed the recovery and even the historic rise that some of these stocks have had. And that's why I keep on saying that investing is really just 80% psychology and 20% knowledge. You can know all the right things to do, but if you can't control your own emotions when things inevitably hit the fan, which they do, it's called a business cycle, you're gonna lose. And trust me, with Trump on Truth Social crashing out every single month or two, things kind of get a little scary. It's super funny to watch. But here's my rule now. Unless something fundamentally changes with the company, I don't really sell. And again, 70 to 75% of my entire portfolio is just an index fund. So I don't really need to even look at it. The short-term drops are just noise and really opportunities to buy more assets at a discount. Mistake number three, I wasn't quick enough to buy the dip. Okay, this one's a little weird. It's kind of like an opposite problem. Sometimes the market do crash and there are huge opportunities to buy at stocks at a discount. Let's just go back March 2020 when the pandemic happened, 2022, April 2025 with the terror crash. These moments don't necessarily last forever, usually just a couple of days, couple of weeks, sometimes in 2022, months, almost a year, and then everything inevitably kind of bounces back. And even bear markets, they don't even last too long. Historical data shows that a bear market on average lasts between around 9 to 14 months. However, they're generally much shorter than bull markets, and they don't even go down as much as bull markets go up. Bull markets usually last a lot longer, around 3 years on average, though some run for decades. Since 1928, the typical bull market has lasted around 2.7 years to 3.8 and delivered gains of around 114% or higher. That's pretty nuts. So in 2020, when I was brand new to investing, I didn't have any confidence or the cash ready to kind of go in. I barely bought anything. I'm still obviously glad that I invested the money that I did and I was able to invest when, that craziness in the world was happening. But when I was doing it, I've always thought, I'll have tomorrow. I can do it tomorrow. Or I'll just wait until the market dips even lower. And looking back, that was one of the best buying opportunities of, the decade. And I missed a lot of it because I was scared to invest and I was unprepared. But in April 2025, when I had more years and experience of investing, I went all in. I had a lot of cash, I had a lot of conviction, and I bought heavily during the dip, almost 6 figures worth. And I even told the public what I was doing, what I was investing. I told my sister, I told my mom, I told my girlfriend to invest because this is gonna be one of the best chances to get assets at a discount and most likely won't last long. And after a few days or maybe even one day, look at the charts, look what happened. It went down and went all the way back up. It really didn't last long. And even I had friends who saw the dip and saw me text them to invest, but instead deleted their portfolio because they didn't want to look at it and they were just gonna wait until it goes lower. They missed out on a lot. And as you can see here, I even told the public what I was investing in this free app where you can see all of my buys, all of my trades, my entire portfolio. And if you don't believe me and you want to look at my portfolio and everything that I said for yourself, I'll leave in the description down below. It's totally for free. It's not sponsored. It's just a cool way for me to be transparent and show you where my money is. That move alone has made me thousands, if not tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars because I learned from my 2020 mistake. Now, obviously, it's because I had cash lying around and I was in a position to be able to. But even if you have a couple $100s or $10, when these opportunities come around, take advantage of it because they don't last long. And the real lesson here is when you have these high conviction opportunities, these crashes in the market, you need to look at it as opportunities. And the ability to think clearly without being emotional and being to act fast goes a long way. And when you have this belief and know that the market will inevitably come back and this market crash will last forever, you will figure out a way to invest. You will do whatever it takes. Me personally, I almost literally went broke investing. I was ready to buy when everyone else was panicking. I was selling things I didn't need. I even asked my CPA if we can not pay taxes just so I can invest. It didn't work out, but I was willing to do whatever it took. Now ask yourself, if something like that happens again, what can you do? Do you have things that you can sell, or are there things that you can cut back to save more money? It's really just about your priorities. Be greedy when others are fearful. These are the moments that separate people who really build real wealth and people who just coast and just watch. Mistake number 4, trading options was not worth the stress. All right, this is a big one. I've tried trading options and let me just tell you, it is a complete disaster. Please do not do it. At first, it was really fun. I was up like $50,000. I thought I was a genius. I thought I figured it out. This is my ticket to real wealth. And then the pendulum swung the other way and companies started missing earnings. I started making emotional decisions. And then Trump got on True Social and started crashing out. And in just a matter of days, I was down $10,000. That means I lost around $25,000 from the peak just from options trading. And it took me another 6 months just to literally break even. Like just now, like a couple days ago, I just broke even. But here's the worst part. It wasn't even about the money that made me regret it a lot. It was about the stress. I was waking up at 6 a.m. every single day, immediately checking my phone to see if I lost money. My cortisol would be through the roof. I'm staring at my phone the first thing in the morning. And then the rest of the day, I couldn't really focus on what I really need to do. And also my emotions would be dictated if I was up or down or not. So for 2 years straight, options consumed my mental energy. And for what? Just to, barely break even? Sure, I had a lot of fun times, but was it worth it? Definitely not. Meanwhile, my boring index fund investments and my other long-term investment portfolios, steady gains. And I didn't have to stress at all. I didn't even have to think about them. It kind of just worked in the background. So with that being said, I want to take this time to announce that I am retiring from the options games. I should have done this years ago, even though I kept telling people not to do it. I was kind of in the background, still kind of dipping my feet and just trying to break even. I'm not afraid to admit it. I am a little ashamed though, but I am hanging up my jersey in the rafters. I am done. Please keep me accountable because I still technically have 1 or 2 option contracts that I haven't closed yet, but I swear, no more after this year. It's one of those do as I say, not as I do moments. Please do not start because it sucks. It just sucks. The stress is not worth it, especially if you're just new to investing. Stick to stocks, stick to index funds, stick to long-term investing, and focus on other areas of your life. Do not start day trading. Mistake number 5, I blindly followed hype and hot tips. Now, this is how most people, I feel like, lose their money. You're scrolling on Instagram or TikTok and you see someone flexing about how they made $50,000 on Open Door or some other random stock of the month. And you probably think to yourself, I need to get on that. I need to get rich. It's my turn. So you dump all your money in without doing any research just because TikTok said so. And by the time you buy and everyone sees it, all the gains are probably already gone and you're just someone else's exit liquidity for the people who actually got in earlier. I've unfortunately done this multiple times, thinking that this was my ticket to wealth, and because I have some sort of insider knowledge or that I'm smarter than everyone, that I would be the one to, 100x my money with some random stock. For example, one of my friends told me a couple years ago about the stock that was going to have some crazy news coming out, like some insider tip. For legal reasons, I'm just kidding. He didn't have any information. But he was basically saying, like, this is guaranteed to blow up. You got to put your money here. We're all going to get rich. So me and a bunch of friends all put tons of money into this one stock. Some options, some long-term investing, but we put, thousands of dollars. And back then, a couple years ago, that was like $1 million to us. And guess what happened? Earnings came out and it did the exact opposite of what he said. It straight up crashed and we lost everything. Thousands of dollars gone within a day just because we trusted a bro, just trust me tip instead of doing actual research and investing the right way. And there's this one quote that says that investing should be like watching paint dry. It should be boring. It shouldn't be like you're gambling and going to a casino. If you're going to be doing that, just go to a regular casino. And here's the real reality with that. By the time you see something going viral on social media, it's most likely already too late. Base your investments on conviction, the data, the fundamentals, the information, not just hype, not FOMO, not your friend's hot tip. Do your own research, do your own due diligence, understand what you're buying, because when stuff hits the fan, which inevitably does, you can act without being emotional. And if you can't explain why you're investing in it, don't invest at all. Or you can do what I do and just invest into low-cost index funds, things that you don't even have to think about. Trust me, it's the best. Mistake number 6, I ignored the news for too long. This one's gonna be a little contradictory because I literally told people not to look at the news when they're investing, but here's kind of the nuance, the kind of gray area. You actually should be paying attention to what's happening in the world. Just try not to be emotional about it. When I first started investing, I kind of took this to the extreme, and at first was watching all the news, looking at all the headlines, and I was getting really, really stressed. I made very emotional decisions, and then I kind of went to the other side of the pendulum where I completely ignored the news. I was kind of like cutting myself off from the world. I didn't want to look at anything. None of them are good. You need to be somewhere in between. Now, if you're just dollar cost averaging into S&P 500, you don't technically need to know about the news. It's kind of true, but I do think there is merit in understanding why your portfolio is moving the way it is. And so if you're not paying attention to the news and just seeing your portfolio go up and down, you're not really learning anything about how the world works, how geopolitical events shape the world, how business news matter, how policy changes matter, and how they affect you. They don't just, affect your portfolio. It's your daily life. It's everyone's lives. It's millions and trillions of dollars, businesses, corporations, foundations, countries that change. So I'm not saying to pay attention to every single headline and to scour the news every single day. If you're a beginner, it may not be better to look at it at all and just focus on the habit of investing. But the more you invest and the more you kind of have a stake in the world almost, the more you should understand of what's happening so you can make informed decisions. So now, honestly, I'm not too cut off from the world. I don't just ignore all the news. I do pay attention to what's happening in the world, but on a very objective basis. I'm not trying to be super emotional or try to get swayed by certain headlines. I just want to understand what's happening, why my portfolio is moving, what our business is doing, just so I can kind of stay up to date. And honestly, I look at all of the stock and business news as sort of a reality TV show. It's super entertaining at times, especially when, again, if Trump is crashing out on True Social. Funny guy. Just watch how the market reacts every time he mentions China or tariffs. Kind of just show you how weird stock market really is. And if you're able to kind of look at it as this type of lens where you're trying to just know what's happening, but also not take it super seriously, it can be a lot of fun. But again, the point really is staying informed makes you a better investor. And I feel like it just opens your perspective on the world, which just makes you a better person in general. You understand the context, you see the opportunities, and you're less likely to freak out when something happens because you actually know what's going on. But obviously you need to find the balance. You need to be in the middle. Stay curious, but don't let the news and headlines control you. Mistake number 7, I didn't invest enough early on. Now, this is my biggest regret. When I first started, I was too cautious, but also I was pretty broke. And I put in just a couple $100, or even $50 just here and there. I was really scared to lose money, so I barely invested anything. But honestly, I didn't really have anything in the first place. But Here's the thing, the caution and kind of the inability to invest cost me way more than any bad investment ever could. Because in those early years, those are when compound interest does a lot of the work. And if I had just gone in hard from the start, had more conviction, or of course had more money, then I'd be way further ahead now. Obviously, this is easy to say looking in hindsight, like, oh yeah, of course I should have invested when I was 16, 17, or even when I was 18 more looking back. It's easy to say that. And of course, I'm grateful that I even invested in the first place, but there were money aside that I kept in my savings account, kept in my checking account because I was scared to invest. And even if there was like $10 or $50, I had that money to invest. I was just scared. Now, obviously, you don't want to invest money that you can't afford to lose, like if you have bills or responsibilities to pay. But if you're being overly cautious because you're scared of taking a risk or losing money in investing, you're costing yourself future wealth, especially if you're young. The lesson is start as early as you can and invest as much as possible that you can afford. You'll never really regret investing sooner. It doesn't even matter if you make a lot of money, you'll just learn a lot from that experience. And so when you do have the capabilities to invest more, let's say maybe in your 20s, that you've already made the mistakes, you've already earned your stripes and went through the ropes, you know what to do. Now look, investing is honestly one of those things that you have to learn by doing. You're gonna make mistakes, it's inevitable. I did, everyone does, you can't really escape it. But the goal is to make small mistakes early and learn from them and not repeat them. So don't panic sell, don't chase the hype, don't overthink it too much, and for the love of God, don't trade options unless you're seriously ready for the stress. Just buy low cost index funds, things that you actually believe in, stocks that you have conviction in, companies, and add money consistently. Don't wait for it to dip because it may not dip as much as you think or as early as you think, and give your money time to grow. And if you want to know exactly how to start investing the boring, smart way, I made a full breakdown on why being a dumb investor is the best strategy. And of course, thanks for watching. Till next time.